Welcome to Blade HQ, everybody. Today is November 24th, 2025, and it is a very big week this week because we got Thanksgiving, and that begins the Black Friday and Cyber Monday weekend, which has some incredible sales. So make sure you're sticking around for those. I'll talk more about those in a minute. This episode is sponsored by Cancept and Tenable, one of our favorite brands here at Blade HQ, just because of how many amazing knives they make at amazing prices and in every flavor you can imagine. This guy's the Predatout. And it's just a big, usable knife. A nice drop point blade with a bit of a harpoon on there, so it's a bit of a looker as well. This one's the Ultimate Damascus version, a very luxury combination. A great EDC knife, and for a great price. Not bad at all. And the other one we got is from their sub-brand Tenable, which is even better pricing. This one's the Cryo, which is based off of a model that Cancept is well known for. And this one's got this blue blade and this really fun printed G10 handle. Cancept does a lot of fun stuff with their knives, and if you can dream it, Cancept has probably cooked it up, and you can probably afford it. Thank you so much, Cancept, for sponsoring this video. What that sponsorship means is these two knives are actually given away in our Noon Mountain Standard Live every Monday. So if you want to get in on these free knife giveaways, just make sure to join us in the live every Monday at noon. Also, right now, every order over $150 gets you a free CIVIVI Gojiro. So the Gojiro is a model that you can only get on a giveaway like this. You cannot just buy this knife straight up, which is a crying shame because we got a D2 blade, a nice thin slicey one, and a G10 handle, full steel liners, 3 inches in the blade, about 7 inches overall, a nice small but very usable EDC knife. And the only way you can get it is for free with purchases over $150. Those are going until supplies run out, which they probably will. Anyway, that is just the beginning of the promos that we've got running this week. We've got doorbusters every single day, so make sure you're on our email list and you will see some of the best deals on knives you've seen ever. In addition, we have a huge sale going on with a bunch of different brands, slashing prices down to minimums. So make sure that you are excited for this week because there will be a lot of deals to be had, including but not limited to Vosteed. Vosteed actually has its entire catalog, including the brand new stuff, 2 of which are on the table today on sale for the rest of the week. So make sure you get those sooner than later. This one is the Porcupine, and the Porcupine is my favorite Vosteed of all of them. I just love the way it looks. Its handle feels really good in the hand. You can choke up and get into here, and it's got the top liner lock mechanism. So what that means is it's kind of like a liner lock, except it engages off the top, which means, first of all, you never have to have your fingers in the path of the blade to close it. And second of all, instead of the liners wanting to bend this way when you bend the blade, it wants to bend this way. And if you don't believe me that makes a lock stronger, grab a spaghetti noodle and try this yourself. Try and bend it this way and break it, you're gonna break it easy. But if you try to just pinch it between your fingers to break it, you're gonna need pliers. Just moving something flexible the other direction really increases the strength. And I love that they do that here on the Porcupine. This particular one has a 3.14-inch blade, weighs 3.1 ounces, and it goes for $72 right now. I know you just love that micarta, sort of that raindrop texture. I'm not sure how they get that color, but my goodness, does it look good. Another thing I like here is this lanyard hole back here. It's kind of blue, so it pops. And if you want, you can go through it, or you can go around it even, because it's got that nice slot in the middle. So however you want to make your lanyard experience, you can do it here. I would probably go around the spacer, so like past the cord this direction. So that way I can disassemble the knife completely and just put my lanyard back on, not have to disassemble or untie any of the fancy knots I tied. Vosteed's a lot of fun, and they have been very busy making a lot of cool knives as of late. Next up, Blade HQ has a new exclusive. This one is the Buck 110 Auto. And then instead of the ebony handle scales we're used to, we get these beautiful green micarta ones that have a nice polish on the top. This one also, I wish I had it on the table here, has a tan leather sheath instead of the black leather sheath you're used to. And then instead of the 420 blade steel, we have CPM Magna Cut. USA made, backed by an incredible warranty, and an absolute behemoth of a knife. This one goes for $250, and it just wants to go to work. You pick up a Buck 110, and you're like, okay, I know how it goes. Let's go hit the woods, take down a mule deer or whatever you're doing. It's just a great knife all the way around. Here we have a 3.75-inch blade. So it's a pretty big knife, and it's a pretty heavy one too, just because of these brass bolsters for the most part, coming in at 7.1 ounces. So it's big, it's bad, it wants to go to work, and it opens fast. Love Buck 110s. Classics, have been bestsellers for decades now. Next up, from Razor's Edge Knives, we have the Sparrow. So this one's a Greg Schaub design, and I imagine Sparrows because his company is called Sparrow Knife Company. And this one has a full titanium handle, a Vanax blade. So Vanax is one of the best blade steels for corrosion resistance, and it still offers really good edge retention as well. And it's a 3-inch blade, and it's just a very usable EDC knife. It's a clean look. I love these carbon fiber inlays you get, although I believe we have some ivory micarta on some of the other flavors as well. These are real looker knives. They're simple and understated, but they also really add a luxurious and sophisticated look to anything you're doing, which is a lot of fun. It kind of reminds me of watches in that way, like a good Submariner or something that is tasteful, but also extremely good looking. They did a really good job with these ones. I got a titanium frame lock on this guy, and as a nice pocket clip, and what I love is this lanyard hole through the backspacer. If you're not a lanyard hole person, that's fine, but I am a bit of a lanyard person. And then you can just pass it right through the backspacer and still, once again, disassemble your whole knife. Very nice indeed. These ones are going for $350. As I mentioned earlier, a 3-inch blade and a 3-ounce weight. So it's nice and easy to carry as well. Love the Sparrow from Razor's Edge. Next up, we have some new variants of the GiantMouse Jagt. Jagt? So it's J-A-G-T, and my understanding is it's said like yacht, but with a very subtle hit of the G, Jagt. If somebody speaks Danish in the comments, please correct me on that. This one's a lot of fun. We have just new flavors of it. You've seen the model before, so we won't get too deep into that. We have an LMAX blade that's about 3.7 inches long, 3.38, I apologize, and it weighs 4 ounces. We have this burlap micarta with this polished brass backspacer, which definitely has a bit of an old school feel to it. We also have blue micarta with a titanium backspacer that matches the finish of the blade. That one might be my favorite of the bunch. And then we also have that same brass and burlap, but with a black blade now. It's a classic hunting knife. It's a little late for hunting season, but there's some winter hunts out there. You can get into those. Very fun indeed. These are going for $245 at Blade HQ. Very nice indeed. Next up, from Sparrow Knife Company, we have a restock of the Strix model. These ones always sell out really fast, a lot of demand on them. I love how light this knife is considering how it is. So it's a very big blade on this guy, 3.4 inches with a nice broad S90V there, and then a full titanium handle. But this one's only 4.5 ounces, which is quite a bit lighter than most knives of its size and spec. And most of that comes from 2 areas. First of all is the sheer amount of skeletonization in this handle. They took about all the material out of it that you can without compromising integrity, which I think not only looks cool, but also lightens the knife up, but it's gonna make it very easy to clean as well. And then the other thing is on the blade, we have a very deep hollow grind. So for those of you who are unaware of what grinds do, so a flat grind is like, say I took this knife and I chopped it right here, we're looking down the blade here. A flat grind would be, it just tapers straight, but a hollow grind is it tapers inward like that, and that removes more material and it makes for a thinner edge. And that thinner edge is gonna give you more slicing performance, and it's gonna allow it to sharpen back and remain thin in the long term, and it removes a lot of material, giving you that very nice lightweight. This knife has not only good looks, but it has a really good designer behind it who really knows what they're doing and cooks up something that is distinctive, yet familiar, and infinitely usable. A great knife all the way around, and no wonder they go so fast. This one's going for $390 right now, and they are selling fast, so I would act on that one soon. Next up, from Skallywag Tactical, a brand new brand, we have the Mini. Skallywag Tactical is a sort of pirate-themed company, but instead of going way too hard into the pirate theme, they just like sort of keep it in their logo and their names, and some of the design cues here, kind of like this sort of cutlass style blade on this guy, but still keeping it usable and by modern standards, functional. The Mini is very small, a 420 blade on this guy, a G10 handle, yet the G10 handle can still get 3 fingers on it, and if you throw a lanyard on there, you can get a 4th. And it's just a usable little blade, but it's super lightweight, 1.3 ounces on this guy. And then put that on this minimal Kydex sheath, throw it around your neck. That is gonna be a great EDC knife. It'll open your packages, it'll dig out your splinters, whatever other stuff you're doing, and it's gonna do a great job of it. For 25 bucks, it's really hard to go wrong. We have this brown one, and we also have my personal favorite of the bunch, the OD Green from Skallywag Tactical. This is a fun brand, and I'm excited to see what they come out with next because they have a lot of fun designs, a lot of good value, and who doesn't love pirates, right? Next up from Vosteed, we have the Naga. This one is on sale right now for $111.20. We got a 3.5-inch blade of S35 VN and this long G10 micarta style. I think this is a micarta sort of thing that looks really good. And then once again, like the other Vosteed on the table, a top liner lock actuated by a button. So this one is big, and I love the sweep of the blade on it. It says Naga, but it kind of reminds me of the Spanish Navaja style blades, which were they were some of the first folders ever made. I want to say that's where the lockback was born too. But a big sweeping buoy style blade that is great for slashing or for slicing or for skinning or for all kinds of other cutting tasks with a very piercy tip too, for in case you need to open a package or whatever. Just a very usable knife, but it's a statement piece too. And for $111 with S35 VN, especially this much of it, it's a really good value too. And that's one thing that Vosteed is just very, very good at. Then the last knife on the table is my current grail knife. This is the Hawk Knives Talon exclusive that we have. So we did pick up a few custom Talons at Blade Show, and they sold out like that. And all of these are crazy expensive. I will not drag you on. This is a $1,200 knife, but let me tell you what that gets you. This is all USA made, hand finished, hand assembled, M390 blades, one of the most premium blade steels ever, an absolutely impeccable, perfect hollow grind on it. And then the full titanium handle with this nice, what they call the grip clip. So you can open this so it's not gonna chew up your pocket going in, and then it really clamps down and holds into your pocket very nicely. The exclusive portion here is this whole black finish we have on both the steel and the titanium, as well as this copper foil carbon fiber inlay. And then what's really cool here is the Hawk lock. You might be mistaken into thinking this is a crossbar lock, but this is not. I'm not sure exactly what's going on under the hood, but this comes from the genius minds of Grant and Gavin Hawk. Grant passed away last year, but his son Gavin is carrying the banner, and he is one of the most visionary knife designers in the world, and this thing is just dialed. We have zero lock rock at all. This thing feels like a fixed blade in your hand, and yet its action is absolutely buttery. The sound, just listen to this. Oh, it sounds so good. This is an incredible knife, and I will say, these are in limited quantities, and they are sure to go fast because they always do, because instead of going for quantity at Hawk Knives, they go for quality. Every single knife off of their factory floor is perfect, and this is no exception. So these are going for $1,200, as I said earlier, and I would act fast because they will not be around for long. Anyway, that is all the new knives we have on the table, but you can find a whole lot more in the new knives category over at BladeHQ.com. And while you're there, make sure you sign up for the email list because that's where you're going to get all the information on all the deals for Black Friday, Cyber Monday, all the doorbusters between now and then. It is going to be a wild ride this week in the knife community, and we're excited that you're along for the ride with us. We'll see y'all next time.